Hello. So I'm going to be going over WISC subtest number 14, which is cancellation. This is going to measure a child's ability to take a given group of objects, in this case animals, and differentiate between those and then a group of different objects in kind of a large format. So for this test, you're going to need your administration and scoring manual. You'll need your record form as usual. You're going to need response booklet number 2, which looks like this, with the animals on top, and then your demonstration and sample on the bottom. You're going to need a stopwatch, pencil without a red pencil, correction, without an eraser. And then you're also going to need a cancellation scoring template. This is going to be just like coding. You are not going to score this during the battery. You're going to score this after the battery is completed. So your base for this is going to be completion of the sample area successfully. Even if there is a correction phase, there will be a correction. And then your ceiling will be 45 seconds on each test. So you're going to want to make sure that your child has a smooth work surface. Again, a table with enough room to spread this out, and I'll show you in a moment how big it is, but then enough room to spread this out. So you are going to first demonstrate. So as the proctor, you're going to demonstrate. You're going to say, look at these. They are all animals. You're going to take the red pencil and you're going to say, now look at these. There are animals and other things too. I will only mark the animals. I will not mark anything else. And with the red pencil, you're going to make a slash through each of the animals that you see. And then after that, you're going to provide the child with the second portion, which is the sample. And then you're going to give them the pencil and say, now you do these, mark each animal, do not mark anything else. Go ahead. And as they complete the sample, you're going to watch. If they have marked everything correctly and gotten all the animals marked, you'll respond, that's right. Now you know how to do them. And then we'll proceed over to item 1. If there are errors, so if the child doesn't get all the animals, you're going to say, that's not quite right. You're going to point to whatever animal they missed and say, this is an animal, so you should mark it, and then have them mark it. If they mark a non-target, such as another inanimate object, you're going to say, that's not quite right, point to whatever inanimate object that they didn't get, and say, this is not an animal, so you should not mark it. You're going to let the child have one more attempt to mark everything. Again, this is untimed at this point with the sample. This is just getting your base to make sure that they can complete the task successfully. If they do not complete the sample successfully after one correction, then we're going to stop and we're not going to go ahead and administer the rest of this test. If they cannot pass this base level, that means that they're not grasping the concept of the test, and so the rest of it's not going to be valid. If they do complete this successfully, either the first time or after the correction, then we'll go ahead and go on to test number 1. So then we're going to take the test booklet. We're going to open it to this page. We're going to give the instructions. When I say go, mark each animal. Do not mark anything else. Work as fast as you can without making mistakes until I tell you to stop. Are you ready? If you need to repeat the instructions, you need to explain again what the child needs to do, that's okay. Please, make sure that they're clear on the task that you want to do. Explain that it's exactly what they did on the sample. And then when they're ready, you say go. Start timing to 45 seconds. If they make a mark that's anything but a single scratch through, like a diagonal line, you're going to say, draw one line to make each mark. Do not stop when you're giving this prompt. Again, we're not going to stop the time. We're just going to say, please use one line to draw through each of these. If the child asks if they make a mistake, You're going to say, that's okay, just keep working as fast as you can. Again, don't stop timing to provide these 2 prompts. We're going to want to go ahead and keep timing the child through this so that way it's got good fidelity and we're proving that they can complete the task or however far they can get in the task. So if they complete the task before the time expires, if they get all the way through the sheet, then you're going to go ahead and stop. You're going to record that time as the time completed. If the child does not get all the way through the sheet, you're going to stop the time. You're going to mark the completed time at 45 seconds. You're going to go ahead at that point. From here, you're going to close it so that they're looking at this page. And then you're going to go to test 2. To begin test 2, you're going to open it to this page. So again, it looks very similar, but we're going to open it so that way our blank page is going to open up to the battery. We're going to give the same instructions. When I say go, mark each animal. Do not mark anything else. Work as fast as you can without making mistakes until I tell you to stop. Are you ready? Again, if they need a re-explanation, if they need a reassurance on the procedure or protocol, however the marking is, go ahead and give that to them. And then when they are ready, say go. Again, we're going to time for 45 seconds. Similarly, if they make a mark besides one diagonal mark, you're going to correct that and say, draw one line to make each mark. And then don't stop timing. Again, no stops in timing for prompts. Don't give them an eraser. If they make a mistake and they ask you what to do, again, that's okay. Just keep working as fast as you can. We're not stopping time for the prompt. We want to make sure that there's fidelity and that we're making sure we have a good evaluation of how fast that they can get through this test. Similarly to test 1, if they complete it before the time expires, you're going to stop time. You're going to record the stop time as the time that you're done with. If they don't get all the way through the test, you're going to set stop at 45 seconds, and then your stop time is going to be 45 seconds. All right. For scoring, so test number 1 for cancellation random is going to be signified by CA lowercase r, and that's going to be the total raw score for item number 1. The cancellation structure score, CA lowercase s, is the total raw score for item number 2. To score these, you are going to go through, make sure that each object is marked completely with a slash. Again, we're not going to count anything that does not have a one diagonal slash because that's part of the instructions. All the marked targets, so everything that's an animal, if it was marked, it is scored correct. If there's a non-target marked, that is scored as incorrect. Also, if there is something that was omitted, that's scored as incorrect as well. So for each test, you're going to total the number of correct responses and the number of incorrect responses, all the way up to where they stopped. So again, if they stopped at halfway down the page, you're going to count up to that mark. So kind of either make a mark by yourself, kind of make a little, away from the thing, but make a mark where they stopped, and then you're going to count all the way up to that, and that's where you're going to stop grading. And so the total raw score for the cancellation, as we talked about, is going to be the sum of the total. So it's going to be the total correct responses, and then you're going to subtract the total incorrect responses. So again, counting up the total correct, and then subtracting the total incorrect. If the child does not understand the task, if we don't get past the sample, if we don't get past anything like that, we're going to enter 0 as the total raw score for both tests. If the difference on a scored test is less than or equal to 0, so again, that's a test that was completed. If the raw score is less than or equal to 0, it's going to be a 0. There's no negative numbers, it's just 0 again. And so again, the total raw score is going to be the CAR and the CAS added together, and that's going to be the total raw score for the cancellation subtest, as you see on your administration form. Again, if you have questions, refer back to the manual. This is fairly straightforward. There's not a lot of ifs, ands, or buts. It's either correct or incorrect with the marks. Thank you very much. Good luck.